First things first, guys. How are you?
Good,
Yeah,
thanks.
really good.
Yeah, not bad. How you doing?
I'm alright, thanks. What I want to start with is I always like to go back to the beginning a little bit. So, Jay, do you remember your first impression of George?
Yeah. He came and picked me up in a van.
Sitting in the back of a white van.
No, he came round and with Matt actually and picked me up and took me to his house and we recorded a track. Yeah.
Okay.
That was sort of how I got in the band in the first place. Sort of went and did this recording and yeah, we're in Holland, 2017, playing with Anthrax.
What was that evening like? That first meeting? Was it nerve-wracking for you?
No, it was a bit strange. Like obviously, I didn't really know who George was. I mean, I knew a guy called George, wanted me to play drums for him, and then I just sort of turned up at his house and did this song and sort of obviously found out everything about who his dad was, and it was a bit weird, but yeah, I mean, I've never been a huge fan of Iron Maiden, but since we went on tour with them last year, I absolutely love them. But yeah, I wasn't nervous, but it was just it was really exciting. It was really cool.
Did you know about the music George was making then? Had you heard?
I'd heard a track, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you learnt a track to come and
I learnt a track to come and
Sure.
record, so I knew that one.
that was it though.
But that was it. Yeah, I've only heard that one
Okay.
song.
So, and that's kind of where it jumped off. And
Yeah. So I think I was the last one to join the band, and then we just started sort of making music. I learnt the rest of their songs, and then we sort of started gigging, and yeah.
And George, at this time, well, maybe even before, did you have a clear vision of what the band should or would be?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we had right from the off. I think we had like a pretty clear vision of what we wanted it to sound like.
Right.
Which is why I think it took us so long to become a band. We didn't just want to, kind of invite whoever in and be like, yeah, come and, we wanted some, especially like with the drummer and the singer. We found Mike and Jai both online, and I remember saying to Dan, I was like, oh, imagine if we get both Mike and Jai. So that would like kind of make the whole thing, full and complete, and and it ended up happening. So.
And then you say you didn't want to rush into anything. So musically, then, what was the vision, and where did it kind of come from?
I don't know really. It's just kind of developed naturally. Luckily, we're both so on the same page in terms of music. I don't think I've met anyone who's kind of, I've had that experience with than I had with Dan. Like, we both were guitar players, both into same music, different bands, but like when it came to writing, we kind of just really gelled and agreed on everything. Both listened to each other's opinions and stuff, and it always just kind of worked out. And the main thing is we both had the same vision for the band, like in the direction and all the sort of bits and bobs we wanted to go with it, like the name of the band, the artwork, the ideas, and all these big sort of ideas we had for the Raven Age. We were kind of both on the same page. So, and it's worked out really well with the other guys coming in and getting on board and having that same vision.
So for you then, growing up in a musical household, your father being in an Iron Maiden, was it always metal for you, or was there always
metal?
Was it kind of how to put it? Was it kind of inevitable to go down this road? Looking back,
I don't know really. I wasn't always into, to metal like right from when I was a kid really. It got heavier and heavier as I was kind of got like 14. About sort of 14, 15, I started getting into a lot heavier bands, and then I was, just sort of into metal massively. But before that, I was kind of just into sort of more rock music. But then kind of got into like a bit more sort of punky, like American punky stuff, like Blink-182, that sort of stuff.
Right.
And then I found bands like Bullet for Valentine and Killswitch Engage as I got a bit older. But yeah, I don't know. I was the same thing. I wasn't like forced into music really. It wasn't like inevitable. I was just, I don't know. I guess I just sort of had it in me, and I just always wanted to play the instruments that were laying around my house. Like, I picked up the bass first and started messing around with that. And my sister had an old guitar she'd never used, and I picked up that, and I just kind of wanted to learn these songs which I was getting into. So,
did you start writing early on then?
No, I didn't really start writing till I was about 17.
Okay.
I guess that's one reason why I kind of it was so late in the day to start my own band and stuff. So I was playing with some other bands and friends before, but I was never writing anything. I was 17. I was actually playing. I was off playing football in Norway. I was like, trying to make it as a footballer, which didn't work out. But yeah, I had a lot of time to myself. I brought my guitar with me, and I was just in this hotel room, like, and I had hours and hours to myself. So I ended up just writing like loads of stuff. And then I went home, and that's when I met Dan and had all these ideas. He had all these ideas, and we kind of just gelled them together.
So by the time that kind of Jay joined the band and it was fully formed, was it then immediately like, okay, now this is the band we're having, and now we go on the road and
Pretty much.
Yeah,
it was like we had
like
the EP ready and stuff. We had the songs ready to go. It was a case of like us just rehearsing as a band and sort of making sure we were tight and it was gelling well, and then we were all just eager to start playing live. We played our first show like February 2013 at that little studio. Yeah. And it's quite funny. I'm sure there's some footage of it. It wasn't that great from our point of view anyway.
Sure, but then this might be difficult to pinpoint. But did it take long to gel and to kind of get that momentum going?
I don't think so.
Long. No, it's I think even almost straight away. Like I don't know, everyone kind of just joined and it worked, didn't it? It was never really like, oh, we really need to work at this part or this part. I think it's more the live performance thing we needed to work on, because if you seen us live before, we'd like to we're pretty energetic on stage, and that's kind of always how we'd wanted to be. But we weren't. Yeah, we found it a bit difficult to start with because it's just a bit like shy and stuff. Different for you, just sitting down the whole time, but yeah.
You say it was a little bit difficult. You were shy. So was there a turning point, a moment, or was it a gradual thing?
It was definitely gradual. Yeah, we played obviously that show, which the stage setup was like we couldn't really move anyway. But I think like feet were like glued to the ground. I was kind of just looking at my guitar the whole time, just making sure I wasn't playing anything wrong. And we played at the Square in Harlow, which is my local town. And again, like it's just like family members came down to watch us, and it was like probably one of the most nerve-wracking shows I've ever done. I was still glued to the same spot. But it was just a gradual thing.
As you just play more and like do more gigs,
just let loose,
different things, and we record the shows and we watch them back, and we like, if we do this, it would be really cool. If we do this, it would be really cool. So we just sort of develop it as it goes along.
Right. And that's an interesting thing, because when you say family and friends come to see the show, then obviously that means a lot of musicians are in the room. So is that more nerve-wracking, or is that do you get more pointers from maybe your father or?
Yeah, well, he wasn't at that particular show because he was elsewhere. He was abroad, but it was like my girlfriend's family that were there, and like a lot of my friends, because obviously hometown show. I definitely get more nervous playing in front of, like, if there's people you know there, even if it's I think I get more nervous playing like small, if there's like 10 people there. I feel way more nervous than I would if there's like 10,000 people there. It's just it's a weird thing. You just feel like everyone's like, all eyes are on you, and everyone's looking at my guitar like.
But in that sense, because you've toured with Iron Maiden, Gojira, Mastodon, Opeth, a lot of bands. So those bigger shows, are they? What is the mindset going into those kind of shows then?
Just to have fun.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, you get to run around. Obviously, with Maiden, the stage was really big, so you just try
to run around. Did you?
Well, not me. I sit there, but you just occupy as much space as possible, and there's so many different people that you can interact with. It's just so much fun. The first show in Florida though was really, really nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just didn't really know what to expect, and your first gig in such a big place was very surreal.
And is it tough as an opening for a band like Iron Maiden?
I don't know, because we've not really done anything other than opening for. So it's just, I don't know. We weren't sure what to expect. I mean, I kind of think we were expecting to get a lot more sort of grief from the crowd, in like especially on the Maiden tour, just because they're so like you know, loyal to Iron Maiden, they just want to hear them sometimes, you know, a lot of their hardcore fans.
Sure.
So we was expecting to get a lot of grief, maybe stuff thrown at us or, you know, middle finger, stuff like that. But it was actually
brilliant, yeah.
We were pretty overwhelmed by the reaction we got on the whole tour. We went down like really well.
It was not one bad gig.
Yeah, we're getting really good comments online and stuff like that. It was really good.
And then kind of developing your own band, because you were at that point still 2013, still starting out. So being around all those bands who have gone through it, and was that a learning experience to see how other bands do what they do, and
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're obviously, you know, you go to a hell of a lot of gigs, don't you? You've seen like how people move on stage, and we kind of knew that we needed to work on stuff. Like we weren't, we watched, like you said, we was watching videos back of our performances and being like, you know, the songs are coming across cool and it sounds tight, but we're not at that level we need to be at. I think, like, just touring in general, like, just improves that. Obviously, it's like a pretty obvious thing to say, but you go into a tour thinking, oh yeah, no, I think we're pretty on it live now, like pretty confident, and then by the end of it you realise how much better you are than when you started. Even, you know, a lot of family members and stuff and said the same thing. If they come to a show like towards the end of the tour, they're like, wow, you guys are so much better from like right back at the start.
Right.
So definitely that's what helps.
So then when Darkness Will Rise kind of started up the album, when you start writing, do you think about the live shows? Do you think, well, how will this go over live, or?
Not really, no. I don't think that's anything we've really ever... I never really go into a writing session trying to write for a particular thing or a particular way. It's just kind of, you know, we have an idea and it's just all kind of natural, like where does the song need to go to make it the best it can be. But I think in the style we write, it kind of naturally lends itself to a live performance anyway, because we like sort of using dynamic and dipping the song down and building it up and smashing in, and that kind of just... that lends itself to live experience anyway.
And then the part of because you mentioned the dynamics, and I read somewhere that you also are inspired by film scores, movie scores. So is that part of it, kind of the dynamic and?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's definitely like a subconscious thing. I've always loved like, you know, music for film and stuff. Certain theme tunes for you know for different films. That's definitely got an influence on the songwriting, yeah. I'm not sure, we don't like literally think of it too much again, like think I want to try and make this like this film or whatever, it's just...
But in the sense then, because you mentioned those writing sessions, does your mood or does that impact what kind of comes out? In the sense, because movie scores are very based on moods and feelings, and so does that come through when you're writing a song?
I think I'd say so. Yeah, I think it's again, it's probably like a subconscious thing. But yeah, I think, you know, we've got some tracks, especially on Darkness Will Rise, they're quite different, and I think I definitely think that the mood you're in sort of, I don't know, changes what comes out, especially obviously lyric wise and vocal melody wise and stuff like that. Yeah.